Chassidic Parashat Learning to Learn, a Chassidic perspective on Parashat Vayikra every week. As we delve into a new parasha of the Torah, we embark on a journey that has the potential to reshape our understanding of ourselves and our connection to the divine. Parashat Vayikra, the beginning of the book of Leviticus, is no exception. This parasha is more than a collection of laws and rituals. It invites us into a deep and personal conversation about how we learn and grow. When we read the opening line, "And he called to Moshe," we are immediately struck by its implications. The small aleph in the word Vayikra might seem like a minor detail, but it carries a profound message about humility, an essential trait in the pursuit of knowledge. The יקע-פעננער, a revered commentator, points out that while the aleph is the first letter of the Hebrew alphabet, its smallness serves as a reminder that true wisdom is rooted in humility. As we strive to learn and grow, we must remain aware that knowledge should not puff us up with arrogance, but should keep us grounded. In a world where achievement is often celebrated, the lessons of humility can sometimes feel counterintuitive. Yet as we reflect on the teachings of Rabbanu Chaim David Azulai, affectionately known as the Chida, we find wisdom that resonates deeply. He emphasizes the significance of the letter Vav in Vayikra, which suggests the importance of repetition in learning. Learning isn't a one-and-done affair. It's a process that requires us to revisit and reflect. When we think about our own experiences in education or personal growth, how often do we find ourselves returning to the same ideas or lessons? This cyclical aspect of learning helps solidify our understanding and enrich our perspectives. This notion of revisiting what we learn is beautifully illustrated in the Talmud, which tells us that reviewing our studies multiple times enhances our understanding. The idea that one who reviews something 101 times has a deeper grasp than one who reviews it just 100 times speaks to the transformative power of commitment and effort. It's not just about memorizing facts. It's about cultivating a relationship with the material, allowing it to resonate and integrate into our lives. And then there's the Midrash Vayikra Rabbah, which poses an intriguing question. Why do children begin their studies with Vayikra instead of Bereshis? The answer reveals the purity of children who, like the sacrifices discussed in Vayikra, are innocent and unblemished. This connection invites us to see that the foundation of learning is rooted in the goodness that exists within each of us. Children, with their natural curiosity and openness, embody a spirit of learning that many of us might lose as we grow older. This brings to mind a story about Rav A.Y. Kook, the first chief rabbi of Israel, and a letter he once wrote to his nephew. In this letter he expressed joy at his nephew's progress, but also concern that he was only reviewing his studies 10 times. Rav Kook urged him to step up his game to at least 40 times. This wasn't just a push for numbers. It was a heartfelt reminder of the dedication required in the pursuit of knowledge. It reminds us that the journey of learning is ongoing, and the more we commit, the more we grow. Yet even as we emphasize diligence and hard work in our studies, we must never lose sight of the small aleph. The transformation of Vayikra into Vayikra, which implies a fleeting encounter, serves as a warning. Without humility, our learning can become a mechanical exercise devoid of meaning. The character of the learner profoundly impacts the outcome of their education. Take Moshe Rabbeinu, for instance. The Torah describes him as the most humble person on earth. His humility didn't diminish his greatness. Rather, it amplified it. Moshe didn't just possess knowledge, he embodied it, allowing his deep connection to the divine to flow through him. His humility made him a fitting vessel for the wisdom of the Torah, illustrating that the greatest leaders are often those who remain grounded and teachable. As we engage with Parashat Vayikra, let's reflect on our own journeys. This parasha encourages us not only to understand the laws and rituals it presents, but also to examine the attitudes we bring to our learning. The lessons of humility, diligence, and the importance of revisiting what we learn resonate deeply in our lives. They guide us toward a richer understanding of our sacred texts and, ultimately, of ourselves. As we approach our studies, let's carry the small aleph with us, a gentle reminder of the qualities we should embody as learners. May we cultivate humility in our quest for knowledge, ensuring that our pursuits are not just about acquiring information, but about transforming ourselves. In doing so, we honor the call of Vayikra, embracing a sacred journey of learning that shapes who we are as Jews and as seekers of truth. Ultimately, our engagement with the Torah can become a source of light and inspiration, not just for ourselves, but for those around us as well. By internalizing these teachings, we can elevate our communal lives and pass on the wisdom we gain to future generations. In this way, we not only learn but also become active participants in the unfolding story of our people, contributing to a legacy of knowledge, humility, and love. The price of serving Hashem. Insights from Vayikra. The book of Vayikra, also known as Leviticus, is a profound part of the Torah that often feels distant and difficult to relate to in our modern lives. Its pages are filled with rituals and sacrifices that might seem outdated or even perplexing to those of us living in today's world. Yet amidst the details of ancient practices, we can uncover timeless lessons about our relationship with Hashem and our responsibilities towards each other. One of the pivotal verses in Vayikra speaks directly to the heart of these themes. Speak to the children of Israel and say to them, when a man from you will offer up a sacrifice to God, from the cattle, herds, or flocks should the sacrifice be brought. At first glance, this may appear to be a simple instruction about the offerings one should bring. However, if we look a little deeper, we can find a message that resonates profoundly with our lives today. The Midrash, a collection of rabbinic teachings, offers an insightful twist on this verse, suggesting that the true significance of the sacrifice is not just in the physical offering itself, but in the spirit of the one making the offering. When it says, when a man will offer up a sacrifice from you, shall be an offering to Hashem, it highlights that what truly matters is not merely the material gift, but the intention and heart behind it. Understanding genuine sacrifice in the context of these ancient rituals, it's crucial to realize that every sacrifice was meant to be accompanied by a sense of genuine remorse and a desire for connection. The Kohen had a unique role in this process, acting as a spiritual guide who could discern the sincerity of the heart. If someone brought a sacrifice without true contrition, the Kohen would signal the Levites to play a poignant melody, designed to awaken that person's heart and lead them towards genuine repentance. This beautifully illustrates a fundamental truth. True sacrifice is about giving up something meaningful, whether it's our time, our resources, or our emotional burdens, for the sake of a deeper connection with Hashem. So when we think about sacrifice in our own lives, it prompts us to ask ourselves, what are we willing to let go of to strengthen our relationship with the divine? Is it our pride, our time, or perhaps our comfort? The essence of serving Hashem lies not just in what we give, but in how we give it with love, sincerity, and a genuine desire to connect. The story of Shia the Kempson, a lesson in hidden generosity. To illustrate this idea of genuine sacrifice, let's consider the story of Shia the Kempson, a man whose life teaches us both the complexities of human nature and the power of hidden generosity. Shia was the wealthiest man in Krakow, yet he was notorious for his miserly ways. He built walls around his heart, avoiding the communal bonds that could have brought him joy and fulfillment. Despite his vast wealth, he consistently refused every request for charity, earning him a reputation as a miser. When he passed away, the community, feeling neglected by him during his lifetime, abandoned his funeral preparations, leaving his body unattended. This was a stark reminder of the consequences of a life lived without generosity. However, as the story unfolds, the community discovers that Shia had quietly helped many families in need throughout Krakow. Time and again, he anonymously slipped envelopes of money under the doors of struggling families, ensuring they could afford Shabbos meals. His acts of kindness were entirely hidden from the public eye, and he never sought recognition for his generosity. Instead, he lived in isolation, shunning the very connections that could have enriched his life. When the rabbi of the community, Aryam Tov Lipman, learned of Shia's secret benevolence, he called the community together to honor Shia as more than just a miser. He urged them to remember him as a holy man who had sacrificed his social standing for the sake of others. Our Yom Tov expressed deep regret for the community's misunderstanding, saying, Shia, Shia, Holy Shia. How can we stand before your memory? How can we possibly beg your forgiveness? In a beautiful act of recognition, he asked to be buried next to Shia, transforming the inscription from the Kempson to Shia HaKempson HaKodeh. This story invites us to reflect on what it truly means to sacrifice. Shia's life reminds us that serving Hashem often requires us to step outside our comfort zones and act selflessly for the benefit of others, even if that means doing so quietly and without recognition. The sacrifices we make don't always have to be grand gestures. They can be small, everyday acts of kindness that create ripples of positive change in our communities. The blessing of renewal, Birkas Hailanos, as we enter the beautiful season of spring, particularly during Rosh Chodesh Nisan, we encounter a special blessing known as Birkas Hailanos, the blessing over the blooming trees. This ritual beautifully encapsulates the theme of renewal and reminds us of Hashem's ongoing creation. Reciting this blessing is a way of acknowledging the abundance of life around us and expressing gratitude for the gifts we often take for granted. When we take the time to appreciate the beauty of blooming trees, we are reminded of the interconnectedness of all creation. This act of gratitude encourages us to reflect on our own spiritual journeys and the growth we experience as individuals and as a community. It's a powerful moment of connection, as we recognize that our blessings are intertwined with the cycles of nature and the rhythms of life. By reciting Birkas Hailanos with intention, we align ourselves with Hashem's ongoing work in the world, finding purpose and meaning in our lives. This act of gratitude not only enhances our spiritual awareness, but also strengthens our sense of belonging within the broader tapestry of life. Conclusion. Embracing the price of service. In essence, the teachings of Vayikra urge us to explore the profound nature of sacrifice in our own lives. It's not always about the grand gestures or the material offerings we bring. Instead, it's about the sincerity of our intentions, the love we pour into our actions, and the connections we foster with each other and with Hashem. As we reflect on Shia's story and the beauty of the blooming trees, let us embrace the opportunity to serve selflessly, to give generously, and to nurture the relationships that enrich our lives. In doing so, we not only honor the teachings of Vayikra, but also create a world filled with compassion, kindness, and a deep sense of connection.